Good morning, good afternoon even.
Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world, I guess. It's good
Yeah.
morning, I think, in America right now, and good afternoon in the UK. Welcome to Backchannel. It's the only place that you can listen, watch, and chat with hosts like me of live shows like this right here on your Echo. My name's Kate Cocker, and that is Will Dell. Hello, Will Dell.
Hello,
Your
good
stream
morning.
thing says that you're producer,
Yes, I am producer Will.
and I do think that we are the alternative Kate and Will. So we're not royalty. We
The
are
second
Kate.
best.
Yeah, the the next best. What do my kids call it? My kids call it bootleg.
Yeah.
Bootleg Kate and Will. There we go from the UK. Brilliant. Yeah. So welcome to Back Channel. This is a really special platform because you get to hear some great shows all day long, but the point of the whole thing is that you can get involved, and this is your opportunity to talk to your Echo show and say, say whatever you want to me or to the hosts that are on at any time. You need to use the word say at the start of your instructions. So you ask your device, so you might say Echo, and then you say, and then you say whatever you want to say to me. So if you are listening or watching on an Echo show right now, let's have a little experiment. Ask your device, say hello. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens, Will. You're in charge of the chat today, aren't you?
Yeah,
You're
I've
in
got
charge
a
of the
chat
stream.
today. I can already see that Danny from Florida said hi. I think it's Danny from Florida. Hi, Danny.
Hi, Danny from Florida. How exciting. So this is all really so brand new that we're really starting from, zero now. This is like proper start. So this is one of those moments where you're in it right at the beginning. So hello, Danny. Really lovely to meet you and to see you. If there's anything that you want us to talk to us about today, then please feel free to drop it in the chat using the same instructions that you just did. So it is device and then the word say and then what you want to say. My name's Kate Cocker. So if you've not come across my podcast before, let me explain to you who I am, what I do, and who this guy is as well. So my name's Kate. I host a podcast called Everyday Positivity. Everyday Positivity is a daily podcast. You'll also find it as an Amazon flash briefing. And it's designed as a 2 or 3 minute audio nugget, if you like, to remind yourself to be kind to yourself. As humans, we live with a negative bias. We're a bundle of hormones, emotions, and we put that all together to create something. And our hormones and emotions often tell us that we need to protect ourselves from the world. And it does that by giving us a bit of a negative bias. And that can change the perspective on everything. Sometimes we kind of feel like we're just surviving, when actually if we stop and look at it, we go, oh no, hang on a minute, I'm actually thriving, I'm okay. And so Everyday Positivity was designed so that you could get that real kind of burst of energy every single day that gives you the chance to go, hang on a minute, I'm all right, and I can cope with this because I have everything that I need. And so we want to bleed that into this program today. And Will has been working with me for the duration of Everyday Positivity's life, which is
Yeah.
3.5 years now.
That sounds about right, yeah.
And I recorded episode 1224 yesterday, which I think goes
It's
out
so many.
tomorrow. So we've been doing it for a really long time now. And I think that the feedback that we get regularly on the podcast is exactly what I set out to do, which was to give people the opportunity to be kind to themselves. And it really is only short. Now, I always say to people, I'm good in short bursts. So we'll see what an hour is like.
Do you find a lot of the time when you tell people that you've done that many episodes of Everyday Positivity, sometimes they'll ask you, how do you come up with what to say? How do you know what to say every day?
Because I think that the key thing is that I'm living life like you're living life. Yeah. There's that great Saturday Night Live sketch, the More Cowbell sketch with Will Ferrell and can you remember who it is?
No,
If
but
you
I'm
can
going to look
remember
it
who
up.
it is, in the chat, please use your device and say the word say and then follow up with who it is. I can't remember his name. He's in Deer Hunter. He's in, it's just come to me. Has anyone put it in the chat?
Christopher Walken.
Yes, was that
Thanks,
Danny?
Danny from Florida, who
Yes,
also
Danny
said,
from Florida.
she said, "Oh, they said you two are the Batman and Robin of positivity."
Yes, we are the Batman and Robin of positivity. I look
Now, I
great in a
think
Batman
that I'm
suit.
wearing kind of darker colors, and you're in Robin red, so I'm pretty sure that that makes me Batman and you
Babes, you're
Robin.
always gonna be Robin. You've got Robin vibes, babe.
I've, I've been Robin my whole life.
Yeah, you make this stuff happen. Look, so Batman is one of the best superheroes, right? Because Batman is self-made,
He's just,
not born with a superpower.
he's just a wealthy
Self-made
guy with
hero.
an affinity for bats. He's just really
Yeah,
excited about
yeah.
bats.
And there's that great line in that movie, the Batman Begins is one of my favorite movies,
Okay.
where Michael Caine, Alfred, says, "Why do we fall down? It's so we can get back up again."
Oh, it's a good
It's
one.
really lovely. It's like a life mantra.
Yeah.
That one actually isn't on my list of life mantras. It should be. So one of the things I want to do today is one of the things that comes with everyday positivity is we've got a really active Facebook group, which is, I suspect, where Danny has seen that we're doing this today and has come to see us. So hi, Danny, again. Thank you for joining us. So in the Facebook group last week, someone Sarah Leopard posted that thing about she put something like, I remember it. Practice gratitude every morning or do some gratitude every morning. And everybody then jumped on it and gave them their life mantras, things to live life by. So we're doing this a bit later, but if you have a mantra that you live life by, then please pop it in the chat. So if you've got an Echo Show, you can ask your Echo Show to, and you have to use the word say, and then whatever you want to say to me. So say, why do we fall down? So we can get back up again. And that'll get you into the chat here. Is anything coming through, Will?
No, just yeah, you'll be the first to know.
Oh, that's fine. It'll come through in a bit.
Yeah.
I love this idea of being the Batman and Robin of positivity.
We've not heard that one before. I've not heard that one before.
No, we haven't had that one before. But the idea is that I just want this show, which will be at this time every Tuesday and every Thursday. We're going to do an hour for now. But I'd love you to take part, and I'd love to kind of get into the kind of really get into what it is that's holding you back. You know, the things that are in there that are like, oh, I haven't quite got this right today. Because none of that matters. Because I always say that positivity is about so let me start again. Positivity, this is one of my life mantras, is not about pasting a smile over the cracks of life. It's about knowing that you can cope with the cracks of life, because the life, it got cracks, right? That's what it's there for. Our negative bias is there to protect us. But what we want to do is really keep on trying to have a bit of a positive perspective on what's going on. And we live in a world where we are constantly being told there's bad, everything bad is happening. So I thought we would start the program today with some good news. We've got a couple, haven't we, Will? What
We've
did you
got
want to do?
we've got tons of good news. My favorite one that we've got to talk about today is obviously the Dolly Parton one,
Of
because I'm
course.
personally a big fan of Dolly Parton. But you've done an episode or a couple of episodes in the past where we've talked about how we think Dolly Parton is almost like the spirit guide of
Patron saint.
the patron saint of everyday positivity.
Well, okay, so let's talk about this here first, right? I was looking through the prep for the show today and I thought, you know what, we should actually do Dolly news every single
You
every
do,
single show,
because
because
all
I
Dolly
think
news is the good news.
she's so carries that spirit. And you know, I'm the first to confess that I think as I was growing up, she wasn't really on my radar. And that over the years, there's a couple of song artists that have done this to me, but over the years, she's like come through. I mean, obviously I knew who she was, but it
Yeah.
just, you know, in the UK, we don't have a big country music scene, and that's really growing over the last couple of years. We've got loads of country music radio stations now, which we never ever had in the UK. Radio in the UK and radio in the US is really different from that point of view. And so we never really had this kind of Dolly Parton influx, apart from anything that got into the kind of top 40.
Yeah.
So growing up didn't really have her in my life. And the more I've grown up, and then there's that great podcast, Dolly Parton's America, and there was a great Netflix film with Jennifer Aniston in it. What was that called? Dumpling.
Oh, I've not.
That's all Dolly Parton. And, you
My
know, over the last few years, everything that I've been trying to do with everyday positivity is just always echoed in what she's saying. And she, she's putting her money where her mouth is. So what's she doing? What's the news?
It's about books. It's about her donating some books to people who need to read, which is just great because I know, especially when I was growing up, like being read to and reading, it was like my escapism. That's what I. It was just a big part of my life growing up. So it's ace that she's been able
What
to.
books were you into when you were growing up?
Do you know what? I've got a really vivid memory of listening to the James and the Giant Peach audiobook. I'm convinced. Do you remember when you used to get free things in boxes of
Yes.
cereal?
Yes.
Which it's devastating that we don't have anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm convinced that we got the James and the Giant Peach audiobook in a book free in a box of cereal, and I must have listened to it loads on
So was it
repeat.
on cassette?
No, it was on a CD.
Oh, right. You're
Um,
young enough. You're too young for cassette.
I'm young enough for it to be in a CD. It was
Yeah.
just in like a yeah, just in like a paper bag. And it was just really good. I just really enjoyed it. And then as well as on top of that, we went through a phase where my dad read the Harry Potter books to me at night before bed, um, and that kind of thing. So yeah, a big part of it.
So I grew up
Uh,
with Roald Dahl as well. So James and
yeah.
the Giant Peach fits into that. Do you win things? Do you get things for free in cereal anymore?
No, you don't. You don't get a free gift like you used to. But you can enter competitions and you can get the box of cereal that I have at the minute. Is like get your face on the box of cereal because it's trendy to have like personalized stuff. It's like get your face on this box of whatever.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I love it. Oh, I was going to wear my cake necklace today. I love a bit of personalization. Jewelry works very well, I think, for that. And then obviously chocolate and Coca-Cola did it as well, didn't they? That whole
Yes. Yeah. Get your name on it.
personalization. I really miss that. So there were some really good things when I was a kid. That thing of you would, I suppose, I don't know who else does it. When I was a kid, the best ones were number one, and this is the 1980s now. A cereal called Weetabix used to do Weetabix tapes, and you collect the tokens off the back of the pack, and then you'd send off for the Weetabix cassettes. And on those cassettes were like Nick Kershaw's songs and
Okay.
Thompson Twins, and so like pop artists at the time. And it was really my first experience of music and having my own music. So I'd have these cassettes, and I think they had 2 songs on each side of the cassette, and you'd play them, and it's just that huge. Like if I hear Nick Kershaw, "Wouldn't it be good? Wouldn't it be good
Yeah.
to be in your shoes?" I am transported to my bedroom and
It's
sat
nice.
listening on my cassette player, the black cassette player with the big buttons and the red button for record, which I used to record the chart show on.
Of
Um,
course you did.
of course I did. And yeah, it was really good. And then the other one that was all the rage was that Kellogg's, who make like cornflakes and frosties and all sorts of things, they used to do Spooky Dokies, and you'd pour open out your cereal, and these Spooky Dokies would fall out. And what they were these little plastic um, things that you put on the spokes of your bike. There were lots of different colours. They're plastic.
Oh, and
And so when
they
you rode your bike, it would go, it would like make a click,
yeah.
click, 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 click like that. And if you got enough Spooky Dokies, then you could also get a reflector as well. So
Oh
it was
my
like Tony
goodness.
Tiger, like as a little reflector. And all the kids on my street would have them, except I had a BMX. Of course I did. I had a BMX, so I didn't have those little spokes. I had like the big plastic
Oh
kind of
yeah. Okay.
spokes, so I could never use a Spooky Dokie. But
That's
those were
funny.
the things. But we don't really have things like that anymore in
No,
this
you don't.
this
But
digital age.
it's funny to say that though. My sister, I don't think she got it from a box of cereal. I can't really remember where she got it from, but she could send off to like the people who manufacture like Monopoly and Jenga and something Cluedo and stuff like that. Like, I'll send off for a free game. I think she must have bought something of value, and it meant that she could send off for a free game. So she got like a Guess Who card game, which was fun.
Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness! And I'm on a tangent now, so please stop me. But I had the opportunity to play Uno the other day whilst I was waiting for some work to happen,
Standard classic
and it
game.
was incredible. I love
Have you never played it
Uno.
before?
No, I've played it loads.
All
It's
right.
just been a long time. It's just been a long, long time. I don't think you get much of
So
an
Uno,
opportunity.
for anyone with children, knows that you always put Uno in your bag.
You've got to.
Yeah. So it's like, so there's things you always have in your bag as a mum. One, some sort of screen.
Mhm.
Because when you sit down for a meal, it's like, yeah, watch
There
that.
you go. Yep.
Or two, some notepad and pens. So just to, like when they're little, I was doing it with my nephews last week. Like if they would be like, hello, and then say like scatological phrases.
Of course.
Uh, and so I'd be like, I just want to sit and just be quiet on my holiday. And so I bought some pads and paper and pens and just went, there you go, and draw me a crocodile.
Mhm.
So they draw for me. And then the other one is Uno. And Uno is a classic because you can just sit down all together. And like even from a young age, they can play.
It's straightforward enough um, that you can play with everybody. It's fun for people of all ages.
Yeah. Are you a games family?
Yeah, big time, big
Are you?
time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We That's one of the things I'm looking forward to the most about Christmas.
Mhm.
And we also had this game called Seen It.
Oh, yeah.
So we
With a
had
CD. Has this one got a CD as well?
it was a DS, a DVD. It
Yeah,
was just
yeah,
like
yeah.
an interactive thing, and there was a board as well, and you like had to move it around. And but anyway, we had a Friends one and we had a Harry Potter one, and I would just shout it at the TV as loud as I could as soon as I could figure out whatever the clue was, and everybody was like, "Will, this is a quiet game. You don't need to shout about it."
Oh, no
Uh,
games are quiet games.
Not if you're playing with me. It's not
Good game's a quick game. That's one of my phrases.
okay. That's fine.
Good game's a quick game. Yeah, so I'm not a fan of Cluedo. Cluedo's not a
It
good
takes too
game. I
long,
do not
and
enjoy Cluedo.
I don't have the skills for Cluedo.
Well,
Danny
I do have the
says
skills for go on.
we
Hi,
always play
Danny.
Uno after the big Christmas Day feast with the family.
Now, can Danny, I need your opinion on this. So there is new Uno. Have you seen this?
No, I've
New
not.
Uno with extra rules in. So I like a bit of classic Uno. Classic Uno is right, just laying down the number or the color. And then you can go backwards. You
Uh-huh.
can miss a go.
Yeah, pick
You
up
can
four.
pick up 4, change the thing on the if there's nothing else you can do, you can lay your wild card. But there's others now. There's like an express version or an Uber version. My 6-year-old nephew knows all the rules, and we're like, "No, can we just play classic?" And he's like, "No, you can bump and switch." And
Oh my
so
goodness.
yeah, it's all gone off. Danny, are you a classic or are you so obsessed with your Uno at Christmas that you've ramped it right up? Because we play Newmarket at Christmas. Do you know Newmarket?
I don't know Newmarket.
So Newmarket is a card game, and you lay down like the Queen of Hearts, the Jack of Clubs, the King of Spades, and the Ace of Diamonds, and then you play with chips. You just it's fun. It's not like actual
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
gambling,
yeah.
but you play with chips, and you basically you just start laying the cards down in order, and whoever has the king or the queen,
Oh, I
then you take
see.
what the chips off. When I was a kid, we used to play it with 2 penny pieces.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But the other day, over summer, my daughter went and stayed with some friends of ours, and at the age of 12, taught them Newmarket. And to
That's
me,
good.
yeah, to me, it's like the game that my granny taught us. So it's like,
Yeah, yeah.
grown-ups know it, but they didn't, and they got they learnt it. Has Danny replied? Have we got a
Yeah,
classic Uno?
Danny's on your team. They said there's only classic Uno. All the other
Only
versions are
classic
fake.
Uno.
Now I do agree. But my favorite my favorite thing about Uno is we had this thing when I was a kid. It was called Uno Extreme. Um,
Yeah.
and you played it with, I think you just played it with a normal deck of Uno cards, but you put it into like this big plastic device thing, and
Nope. Nope.
you'd
Not
press
allowed.
the
Nope.
button and it
Nope.
would shoot the cards out at you.
No.
So like
Only classic.
no, it was kind of classic, but it was also
No.
extreme. It was pretty intense.
I think we've got
Anyway,
to have some boundaries here, Will. We can only do classic Uno.
Daddy said no. Dad's not a fan of no extreme. Just
No.
in case you thought it was too laid
No,
back.
stop there.
Uh,
Yeah, no, stop
okay,
it.
there's one more thing I want to say about this Dolly Parton story.
Oh, sorry, we've gone
No,
right
it's
off.
fine. I tangented myself. Um, but it's that the first book that they get is Peter Rabbit.
Oh, that's great.
I
So the
know.
thing about this story is that Dolly Parton, I think she started this, didn't she, a long time ago now.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's
she has
part
this
of her.
foundation.
Yes.
So she has the Dollywood Foundation, and part of the Dollywood Foundation is that all kids under 5 or something like that get a free book. I might not have this completely right. I probably should have
Mhm.
checked that before I said it out loud. But there's a lot of free books being delivered to kids in America. And the story here is that now it's opened up and it's into the UK as well.
Yeah.
And it's called the Imagination Library, which is so
How nice
cute.
is that?
So cute. And I just think there's that lovely thing of being able to, when you reach that level of success. So this is something I talk about a lot. This is about being selfful, right? So, you know, one of the I run my program with pillars of positivity, and there are 7 pillars of positivity, which is apt because it's everyday positivity. So Monday to Sunday is 7. But the first pillar of positivity is to be selfful, and being selfful is the art of taking care of yourself so that you can care for others, right? And
Mhm.
so in terms of the Dolly Parton Foundation, Dollywood Foundation stuff, that's the right, I've got myself to this point in my life, and I can afford to now share that success and share that kindness and share the things that I wanted when I was a kid and I couldn't have. Because she, again, I think there was the connection is there's something around school, isn't there? I can't remember
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And not being at school or having a very small school or understanding that education and reading is important. I probably should have researched that, Will, and we'll do that for next time.
Yeah. Let's.
Um, so this works. What I'm saying is the be selfful thing isn't about being selfish. It's about looking after yourself so that you can help others. And so the Dollywood Foundation to me is a really great example and another reason why I think of Dolly as the patron saint slash spirit
Page step.
animal of everyday positivity.
I've been thinking about being selfful a lot in the past
Have
couple of
you?
weeks. I
We've
have.
been really busy, haven't we?
Exactly.
You and I
And
have been very busy.
uh, there's certainly been times where I thought, oh, I haven't taken my time for myself. I've not looked after myself, and now I can't
Yeah.
do the best work for others. But the my favorite way that it's kind of manifested itself, or the favorite way that I've heard of it recently, is in the song "Juice" by Lizzo,
Yes,
because she says, "If I'm shining, everybody's gonna shine."
that's in that. If I'm shining,
If I'm
everybody's
shining,
gonna
gonna
shine.
shine. And
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, okay. So if I can kind of take that opportunity to make sure that I'm shining,
yeah.
then I can help everybody else shine as well. I was like, Lizzo knows. Lizzo
Lizzo
knows about being
knows.
selfful.
It's one of those things that we say a lot, but do we do a lot, you know? And I think we know when we've not been selfful when you get to a Thursday, you go, "I'm really tired," which
Yeah.
is basically you and I today, like,
Mhm.
we're not we're not moaning, it's just that we've had a really busy week, the pair of us, and we both met this morning and went, "Oh."
But it's
And
and this isn't, sorry to interrupt. This is another thing
no,
that
go on.
you get out of everyday positivity in the Facebook group, and especially the hangouts that we do, is that it's not just you.
No.
We can guarantee that
Yeah.
somebody else is kind of
Yeah.
feeling the same thing, or maybe experiencing something similar, or
Yeah, it's that strung out end of tether stuff. I mean, Brene Brown says it so well, which is you can't give what you haven't got.
Mhm.
And it kind of applies to everything. It's like you can't teach if you haven't learnt it, or um you can't give money if you haven't got it, and but you can't give your heart if you haven't looked after your heart. So
Mm.
so I think being selfful to me is one of the critical pillars of positivity. And it also bypasses that guilt that I think you can feel, especially as a parent, or you're giving so much of yourself to so many people all of the time that you forget about yourself. It's such a weird
I
phenomenon.
know, yeah.
Like, you experience it with your clients and your friends and your family and, all of those things, and then all of a sudden you go, "I've got nothing left. I'm exhausted." And so the thing I've been doing this week is I don't know about you, but November the 1st was a Monday.
Hmm.
And I don't know if you felt this, but I was like, I went away the last week of October. I came back and went, right, clean slate. Our clocks went back. So
Yeah.
that's happening this weekend, isn't it? Coming for the States.
Yeah.
Um, but our clocks went back and it was like an opportunity to go, right, I can reset, wake up early. November the 1st is Monday. New week,
Yeah.
new start, off we go. And
Yeah.
so I've just tried to set some new rhythms. So what I've started doing is exercising again at the beginning of the day because I was finding that by doing it later in the day, everything was starting to get in the way because we're back in the real world again, right?
Hmm.
We're
Hmm.
we're not remote, we're not working from home anymore. We're doing lots of different things. So so I put me first. So I practiced being selfful this week by going, right, I need to exercise at the start of the day. And I need to separate it from the day. So I've got this kind of space. So I put my phone somewhere else, I get away from it
Yeah.
completely, and I
Yeah.
do my exercise, and then I've done it. And one of the reasons I'm very tired is because I've been doing it very early in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm pushing through on that one because I'm figuring I'll get through that and I'll be back
But
to the
you
routine.
don't have to do it. I mean, I know that you always are up quite early anyway, Kate. But one doesn't have to, uh, make that time to do it first thing in the morning. It's just about booking out time in your day for
Yeah,
some
yeah.
selffulness.
Well, I've
Uh,
literally put myself first in the
you've
day.
literally done it first thing in your day.
I've literally done it, and, I was speaking to someone recently about this, and you have to be really careful because when you try and put in time for yourself at the beginning of the day, the danger is that you start getting up at 4 in the morning or something,
Exactly.
and you're like, "Why am I up at 4 in the morning? 'Cause to look after myself." Like, who does that really?
Yeah.
Like, whatever. Um, and so but then at the end of the day, you're often just decompressing from the day, so it's not actually an active bit of self-care, bit of self-love. And so the solution that we came up with in this session that I did with this person was to do something at lunchtime.
Yeah.
So and that was about going, right, I am booking that in and I am not it's a non-negotiable. I am not doing anything in my day. I'm not doing anything in that hour other than sitting and being myself and having my time and doing what I want to do.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
yeah, if you are feeling the burn and feeling like you are not, you know, giving yourself the time that you deserve. Oh, the other one that I've done with someone is the meeting.
Oh, yeah. You like this, don't you?
I do,
Tell us
because
about a
it's like
meeting.
there's that thing in, it keeps reminding me of Amy Adams in The Muppets going, "I'm having a me party, party just for one," like that.
Yeah.
Um, and it's also like, Julia Cameron, who wrote The Artist's Way, she talks about taking yourself on a date. But
Yeah.
I've modernized it for the working world, and I've made it
For the
into a me
professionals.
meeting or a meeting, as I've been putting it. Because if you book a meeting in with yourself, right, then you can tell people, "Sorry, I was in a meeting."
Yeah.
Sorry I missed you, I was in a meeting." They're not gonna know.
And
You're going to have
but
your
also,
meeting.
it's like such an acceptable reason not to pick up the
Yeah.
phone. I would never pick up the phone in a meeting. Um,
And that's what I was starting to find, that the more I was speaking to people, the more, and I'd find it with myself as well, is that unless you've scheduled something in, that's the British and US version,
yeah.
um, then you don't do it for yourself. So the act of going, right, here is a meeting, and you have to respect the person that you're going to the meeting with. So you would not be late for someone if you're going to a meeting,
Mhm,
and you
mhm.
stick to time,
Yeah.
and you are not interrupted by anything else.
Yeah.
It was a me meeting that went into a meeting. So,
I like that.
yeah, no, I've been sort of trying to deploy it a little bit more in my life because you go through fluxes, don't you? It's like a bit of push and pull. Sometimes it's okay, you've got to power through. Like I said, like I'm setting a new habit now. I'm waking up early and I'm doing exercise in the morning. So I'm on day 4 of that. So like, right, this morning I nearly didn't get up. I was like, no,
Yeah.
the day I have to get up and push through because then it will start to set. And then you have to rest, you have to pull back, and you have to go, "Right, release the pressure here. I'm trying too much here. I'm taking on too much, so
Too much,
I
yeah.
need something needs to go."
It's
So
Do you have a
yes.
news story for us, Kate?
I do have a news story for you. It made me chuckle that Joe Biden
Is that
Joe
a
Biden's in Scotland at the moment for COP26. And, from the White House poll report, on the president's journey from Edinburgh to Glasgow. Here we go. This is what it said,
Go on.
written down,
Tell
official
me.
documents. On the journey from Edinburgh to Glasgow, at one point when we were still on at one point, try again.
Yep.
At one point when we were still on smaller country roads, a large naked Scottish man stood in his front window, taking a picture of the motorcade with his.
I mean, I could just imagine country roads. If you live there,
I know. As I've read that out loud, I've realised that he wasn't out and about.
no, he was in his house.
It's not like he's in his own home.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
that moment where like Rachel in Friends, where she's like, "I'm just going to," and then she suddenly realised everything. So Rachel, we've got Scottish naked guy.
Yeah, yeah.
It just made me giggle that made it into a report, like
The official report. I mean, he was.
official report.
I
mean,
can
he
almost
must be on
imagine
Google,
him.
like the Google. What's the Google Maps? I bet he's on Google Maps.
Possibly. Danny says, in other words, it was a Monday. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I could just imagine him. Like, he's in his house. In my mind, he lives by himself. And, on like this quiet Scottish country lane. And then all of a sudden, the presidential motorcade is going past his front window. He doesn't have time to get dressed. He doesn't want to miss Joe Biden's limousine. So
I know.
better snap a
I
picture.
know. Because also the thing about the motorcade is they put the flags on the
You
flags
can't miss it.
waggle, don't they? They go on the front. That's really exciting. And also, can you imagine the motorcade on those small Scottish roads? Like those are narrow. There's no passing points.
No, it's bad enough if you've got a little like 2-person Kia something, then you might be fine. But that massive, I don't know, those massive limousine, the Beast, it's called.
Yeah.
The president is driven in.
Yes,
glad it's not me. I'm glad it's not me trying to get around that. Well, he didn't drive it.
But do you have that? Like I have a neighbor, and I've got like my loft has a loft room where I present. Like I'm sat in that room now, and sometimes I'll look over, and I'll go, oh. So because we live in Manchester, and if you've ever seen an episode of Coronation Street, it's like that. Like the back of my house backs onto another house. Like we can literally see into each other's windows. And I look over to my left sometimes. I'm like, oh, I don't think he's wearing any clothes. I have to look away.
I think I might be the naked neighbor. I think I'm the naked neighbor on my street.
You are the naked neighbor.
Because I think you either have a naked neighbor or you are the naked neighbor.
Well, I've seen a couple of naked neighbors.
Well, there you go. Then you know at least it's not you.
Have you ever done the naked? Well, maybe you don't. We've got like a downstairs. Sometimes if I've forgotten to get my clothes for the next day and have to do the naked dash.
Oh yeah.
Doing the lights off so no one can see. Naked dash to get my clothes from downstairs.
Yeah, done that a couple of times.
I'm gonna have to cough. Is that bad?
It's fine. Danny says that they're that neighbor in their city too. So I'm telling you, I think everyone's got a naked neighbor, and hopefully,
so they're the naked neighbor. So is Danny saying that they're the naked neighbor?
Danny's saying that they're the naked neighbor. I think I'm the naked neighbor. You've got a naked neighbor.
I like this. We should do something with this.
Should we?
No.
Okay.
I'm backing back out of it. You're correct. Let's not do naked neighbours. But Scottish naked guy, we salute you.
And
giving us a smile, and for us all discovering that we are either the naked neighbour or we have a naked neighbour.
And hopefully, if you are the naked neighbour, the presidential motorcade isn't going to drive past your house. I live on a cobbled street, so I think they'd have a hard time.
Oh, you live in a Hovis advert?
Yes, I do.
And I live in Coronation Street.
I do live in Coronation Street. Not to perpetuate any British stereotypes or anything like that. But yeah.
No, it's just reference points.
Yep. It's good.
It's really lovely in Manchester, actually, that you can see. There's this. When I moved to Manchester, it was 15 years ago I moved to Manchester. And like all the images of Manchester when you're growing up, they've got those kind of cobbled streets, like you were saying. But what's really cool about Manchester, and it's noted by Dave Haslam in his book, Manchester, England, as well, is that in Manchester, we've built on top of stuff. So, like, you'll get these really old, intricate buildings from like the late 1800s, probably early 1900s. And right at the top of the buildings on these actual, as they stand, like there's like so much lovely, amazing archetypal detail, like flowers and stuff, and great, like carved into the stonework. And then someone's bunged a loft conversion on top,
Yeah. As
made
you
of
do.
glass.
Yeah.
And it's just, what's lovely is that you get this lovely mix of, there's the old world and there's the new world, and it beautifully comes together. Like all the loft apartments, a bit like in New York, you know, like where all the bare brick and the loft apartments are really, or not, they're not loft apartments, they're old factories, they're old mills that are in Manchester that have been turned into apartments. My point is this, that in Manchester, where the tarmac is laid on the roads, there are some places where the tarmac has worn away, and it's only an inch, maybe 2 inches
Mhm.
down, and you can see the old cobbled streets. And
It,
it's like you're only like, you're a hair's breadth away from real history in Manchester, and I love it.
it's so funny that you say that because really recently, and I don't have it to hand, so I'm probably going to get my facts wrong. I like read an article or saw a TikTok about how in uh, kind of like Rome and other big Italian cities, they can't create like a underground network, like a subway network, because anytime they try and dig down into the earth, they just find all of these incredible ancient, artifacts or like
Amazing.
Roman floors or bits of pottery or whatever. So if they try to dig at all, they have to stop because they find all of these artifacts, and they just don't get anywhere. It takes too long.
It's like in Birmingham, there are under city
Hmm.
tunnels, but they're like filled with sand and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So they could make one, but yeah.
Do you
Wow.
want to do you want to do today's episode of Everyday Positivity, Kate?
Yeah, should we have a go at it? Because it's a bit of a different one. I haven't done one like this for a while. So we've saluted. What have we saluted? We've saluted free stuff in cereals.
Yeah, good.
We've saluted being the Batman and Robin of positivity.
Hmm. We've
I'm Batman and
heavily
Robin.
saluted Uno.
We've heavily saluted Uno, and we've heavily saluted Scottish Naked Guy.
Yeah. Hmm.
But the point is he's saluted for being the naked neighbour,
Yeah.
and I salute you and Danny for being the naked neighbour.
Thank you very much.
And so in this episode, we salute water.
Yeah.
Is it about water? It's like when you're not drinking enough water, you don't know until you get enough. A bit like sleep, you don't know you're not getting enough sleep until you suddenly get enough and you go, oh, that's what I've been missing. And then there's that thing of it moving with the earth so much that the moon and the water and the tides are connected. There's something really magical about water, isn't there? And then when you go swimming in it, you do better breathing if your head goes under, and then it comes out, and you start doing some really good breathing, and it changes the biochemistry in your body because you're taking in more oxygen. And if you ever do open water swimming, that feeling that you get when you've done that open water swim in the morning and you've got into the rhythm of the earth almost because you've been in the water with the earth. So I guess if, like me, you've had moments of feeling a bit flat, feeling like you're flagging slightly, feeling like you've lost a bit of that motivation, then maybe some water is the answer. Who knows? Certainly being hydrated helps your voice, helps your lungs, helps your heart, helps everything work better. And certainly getting in water and swimming and feeling close to the earth is good for your soul. And at the end of the day, if you fill that bath and you get in it, then there is no phone and there are no interruptions. So today, I wonder if water is your answer. I was speaking to a friend a long time ago because I was doing an early morning radio show and she did one as well. And she just said to me, water is the answer. Drink it, get in it, whatever it is, just get in it, get under it, drink it. And the best thing for me about water is that you can't take anything with you when you're in it.
Yeah.
It's funny actually because when I was away, we got to do some we got to do some skinny dipping in the sea, which was wonderful again. And it reminded me, that's why I did that episode, which it just reminded me of whenever you hit that water, no matter how cold it was, it just set the day right. There was something
Mhm.
really weird about being in the waves, being in the earth. I mean, that's it, isn't it? When you're in the water, especially in open water or wild swimming or whatever, you're in the earth.
Mhm.
And over the summer, I started paddleboarding, and I really appreciated seeing the earth from the water's perspective. Like when you're in the middle of a lake and you're looking up at a mountain, there's something really lovely about it. So, what did it bring to your mind when you saw that episode and made that lovely audiogram for me, which was beautiful? Thank you.
That's okay. I think, and I think you touched on it a little bit, is that we really can take it for granted.
Yeah.
Even okay. So when it was really hot over the summer, we were lucky to have a really hot couple of weeks. I started just keeping a carafe of cold water in the
Did you
fridge.
say carafe? That's a very big word for you.
Thank you. I think. Um,
That's a very grown-up word. I've never I that's one of those words. Hold on to your thought. That's one of those words that I've only heard twice in the last year, and both of them were in this week.
Amazing. What's it
Amazing.
called? Your brain your brain dormant.
Maraz, reticular activating system, she says, wondering if she's got it
Sure.
right.
Now you're gonna be seeing adverts for carafes. You're gonna
Carafes.
be anyway.
Yeah. I
Anyway,
was
I
in the
started keeping
ProCook
one in the
brochure
fridge.
this morning looking at a carafe as well.
There you go.
There you go. Love a ProCook
Um,
brochure.
Anyway, I started keeping one in the fridge, just full of cold water, and it was just so
Lovely.
refreshing. It just hit the spot every time. And now, even though the weather's got cold again, I still keep it there because I just really think that nothing hits the same. Nothing quenches that thirst like a carafe of cold water. And then earlier this week, I was lucky enough to stay. I was staying in a hotel for work, and they had this gorgeous big shower head, and
Oh, love it.
nothing. It's just such a great way to start your morning, no matter
Yeah.
how, whatever's coming up in the day,
Yeah.
whatever's happened the night
Yeah.
before, you can stand there, be the naked neighbor, and stand there, let it all wash off you, get
You're
ready
not
for your
being the
day.
naked neighbour when you're in your bathroom.
No, I'm not.
You
I'm
only
not.
qualify as a naked neighbour if you're doing it in the window so everyone can see you.
Still, Danny said that you were the naked neighbor when you went skinny dipping.
Yes, we were the naked neighbours. Do you know what? There's this really lovely cove where we go when we go on holiday in Greece, and it's got a coastal path that walks down to it. And it was we did it last year. We started doing the skinny dipping, and it's only this year that I realised that you can actually see
Yep.
from the coastal path. But luckily, we go early enough in the morning that no one's
No
around.
one's
But I
really
was like,
there.
actually, I thought last year we were doing it in private, and we really aren't. Like we're on display. So yeah. So
Another thing
next
about
October, come along.
let's all go.
You want to see some skinny dipping? That's where we'll be.
I've always been a good swimmer. I've always liked swimming.
Mhm, mhm.
Like in the sea or in a pool or whatever. I've always enjoyed it. But I was never very good at having my head underwater. But then the last time I was on holiday, and that meant that I never really did like diving and stuff like that, just
Yeah,
because
yeah.
didn't really do it. But the last time I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do it, and it was
Yeah.
just, I was lucky. It was a private pool. There weren't very many, so I just did it, and the amount of joy that it brought me just to kind of jump in and act all silly, and dive into the
Yeah.
pool. It was great.
My friend, has just moved into a house that requires quite a lot of renovation, and everything about the house, they bought the house and then they've moved in, and it's things like there's no skirting board because but they didn't know that there was no skirting board because when they went to look round it, there was loads of furniture, like, hiding all the things that
Yeah,
are wrong with it, and there were tons of things that they're like, "Ugh, there's so much more to do than we thought." But the best thing about it is the shower. It's like a massive shower head, lovely pressure.
yeah.
There is nothing better than having a great shower that you're excited to get in, I think.
Hmm.
But yeah, so water, we're saluting water as well today.
Yes.
So if you I've started trying to drink more water because I recognized while I was away that that was something that might help my kind of tiredness, I think, and it really definitely has. And more than anything, it means I stand up more because I have to go to the toilet more.
I do that. That happens to me all the time. I know that
Oh, I've really got to go now. Bye.
yeah. I know that I'm supposed to drink 2 of my carafes of water a day because it's about 2 liters, and apparently that's what you're supposed to get. So it helps with
Yeah,
that as
2
well.
liters, because you breathe out 2 liters, basically, that's the science, like,
Oh, I
without
didn't
doing
know
any
that.
exercise, you probably breathe out 2 liters or expend 2 liters of water a day. So to keep yourself kind of flush, as it were, you got to flush it through.
Yeah.
So I said at the beginning we were going to do some stuff around life lessons, didn't I? So
Yeah.
I just thought I'd share a couple that I caught on the Facebook group. Danny, if you have one, it would be great to hear from you. And if you're listening or watching on your Echo show, don't forget that on Backchannel, this is the place that you can listen to, watch, and chat with the hosts of live shows on your Echo show, which is amazing. So brand new technology. Early adopters unite. So all you have to do to take part in the show and join us in the chat is ask your Amazon Echo to say, and you have to use the word say, and then put whatever it is that you want to say to me and to Will. So if you have a mantra, you'd ask your device, say.
So what would you say, Kate? What would yours be?
Everything is
say-
figure outable.
You would
That would be
say,
mine.
Echo, say everything is figure outable.
Yeah, absolutely, which is a Marie Forleo one, but I love it so much. And it always makes me really sad because my son saw Marie Forleo's book, Everything is Figure Outable, on my stairs. And he went, "What?" I went, "What do you mean, what?" He said, "I thought that was your phrase." And he was really upset that it hadn't
No.
come out of me. I was like, "No, there's a magnificent human called Marie Forleo, and she says everything is figure outable." And actually, it was her mum. So yeah, but we'll take that one and we'll run it all down. I think everything is figure outable is the thing that helps you with your confidence. Like if you believe in the world that everything is figure outable, then you'll try and you'll do things that don't matter. You'll try and you'll do things as if they don't matter.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if it goes wrong. That's what I'm trying to say. Jane Davis said, I love this one. If you think it's love, wait till you know it is.
Okay.
Nice one, huh?
That's nice.
Annie McCarthy Deluvio says it always gets better, which is another one. It's like everything is figure outable. It always gets better.
Yeah.
You can deal with it. Sophia Demetriou says broken crayons, still color. Broken crayons, still color. We know that one because there's a great story that Azman Osman Rani tells, who's a famous CEO in Asia. And he is a massive entrepreneur, and he always talks about broken crayons still coloring. So it doesn't matter if you're not perfect, you're still coloring.
Yeah.
I've got some nice ones here though, so they're all nice. Kim Glesner says never play leapfrog with a unicorn. And obviously there's never eat yellow snow. That's another classic one, isn't it?
Danny said, be brave and say yes because your dreams can hear you.
Oh, I love that, Danny.
Be brave and say yes because your dreams can hear you.
Your dreams can hear you. Oh, I can feel an episode coming on.
Say
that again. I'm going to write it down. Be brave.
Yeah, and say yes.
And say yes.
Because your dreams can hear you.
Because your dreams can hear you. That will become an episode in the next week, I reckon. Mm-hmm. Credited to Danny. Danny in Florida. What's your surname, please? That's going to be fun, isn't it? Trying to say your surname to your device to see if it recognizes it.
Also, if you don't want to, you don't have to.
Oh, yeah. Well, we won't read it out. Oh, no, hang on. You're right. Good point. I've messed up there, haven't I? Okay. Kristin Charbanu says, always put gas in the car the night before if it's low. You might be tired and want to go home, but there is never enough time on the next morning. And it's stressful to manage that on the way somewhere. You have to be on time. This affects my life a lot. Putting petrol in the car the night before. Or doing the reset. Rather than thinking, oh, I've got to tidy up now. It's like, no, set the room nice for tomorrow because you won't have time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do it the night before.
Everything the night before. Get your clothes ready. I feel like I say that to our kids all the time. You got your clothes ready?
Yeah. But it was a big thing for me in school, getting ready for school the next day. And I was because I'm not getting out of bed is a bit of a struggle. So getting your stuff ready the night before is a big deal. It's important. It helps.
It does. Expanding your consciousness doesn't have to be a grand gesture. Listen to a new song, talk to a different person. Just keep growing what you know. I love that. That's from Erin Veronica. And then what's really similar is Mel Andrade says, small changes lead to big things. I've learned this so much recently.
That's nice.
So much. And it's always the little things. It's always the little things. Like I did loads of work on my voice recently, and it's all these little muscles around here that you have to, around your shoulders, that you have to kind of stretch out to make sure that your lungs are free to talk. Or I've just injured this, like, literally this little rotator cuff muscle here has caused me more bother the last 6 weeks than any other injury I've ever had. Because it's like every time I've reached up to get something out of
Yeah,
the kitchen cupboard, I've gone,
you
ow.
feel it.
Yeah, and I've got a competition at the weekend, and I'm like, been looking after this. So I've decided, so this is all my new stuff this week, is that, yeah, I'll train hard 3 days a week, but I'll go into the gym every day when I can and just get like get like two of those 5 days are conditioning days where I do little things that
Yeah,
feel really boring but have a really big impact. So
they're still
small
helping.
changes, it's all in the little things, isn't it? So what are we saluting then? We've saluted being the positivity, Batman and Robin of positivity. We've saluted Uno. We've saluted free things in cereal packets. We've saluted the naked neighbor. We've saluted all these lovely life lessons. We're saluting Danny in Florida for taking part in our very first Backchannel show. And we've saluted water, because water, get in it, drink it. It's the answer to everything.
Amazing.
What a lovely
Look
first
at what
show.
we've discovered in this first show.
I know, it's so good. So we'll be back on Tuesday next week, same time. And, we're just going to go up and up, grow and grow. That's
Yeah.
from here. We'll start bringing
We've
more and more
saluted
people in.
Dolly Parton.
Oh, and we've saluted Dolly Parton always.
Yes, every day.
So thank you so much for taking part in the show today. Thank you, Danny, for being on, being our first kind of a person using this new technology. You are the ultimate early adopter. And thank you for being here and for watching and for taking part.
Thanks, everybody.
See you later.